Okay, so today we're going to look at something called scatterplots. Basically what a scatterplot is taking pieces of information, and you can see we have some data points or pieces of information here. And we're going to just plot them on a graph and look at trends. So I'll go ahead, and you can see mine are already graphed here, but I'll go ahead and you can pause the video and graph these points, and then when you are ready for the rest, you can go ahead and play the video. Okay, so now that we have our data points graphed here, we want to look at different trends. So obviously this data is not linear because it does not form a complete straight line, but we can see a trend. In general, a trend is the same thing as a correlation. So in this problem, we generally see as the length is increasing, the height is also increasing. Okay, so it's you can look back at the scenario here. It says several students measured the length of their right foot and their height. So in general, the bigger feet that they have, the taller they are. And you can see that this trend happens in general. So we would call this a positive. Oh, let me shrink my piece down here. Okay, we call this a positive correlation. Okay. So correlation is just the same thing as relationship. So we have a positive correlation here. Okay, and the next thing that we want to do is talk about a trend line. So a trend line just shows the correlation in general. So it is going to be a straight line, and you don't want a trend line that's going to be up here that's above all the data. You don't want a trend line that's down here that's below all the data. You don't want a trend line that maybe looks like this, and you say, oh, well, it's through the middle of the data, but it's not following the same general pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a trend line on here, and in general I want it through, and that wasn't a very good one. I got a little bit too low. Let's see if I can go back and take it off. I can't. Well, it won't let me take it off. Well, sorry, that's a bad trend line. I'm going to go with the black one here. Get a little bit higher and up through the data. Okay? So now I want to find the equation of this trend line because I want to be able to predict, well, what if so-and-so has feet that are 33 centimeters. I don't see a data point on here for 33 centimeters. So I want to be able to predict, hey, what if a student has 30 feet that are 33 centimeters long? How tall could I predict that person would be? So writing an equation then allows me an equation of this trend line then allows me to predict future data. So the way that we do that is just like we would write the equation for any other line. So only looking at the points on this black line here, I want to pick out two data points. And they can be these red points if it crosses through one of those red points, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. It could just be any ordered pair that is on this black line. So I'm going to extend this down here just a little bit. Okay, so picking out ordered pairs, it looks like this ordered pair right here hits. So that's 20, let's see. So going through here, 20, 138. So that's going to be one ordered pair, 20, 138. Okay, and then I need another ordered pair. So I'll come up here towards the top. It looks like this one is also hitting at 24, does that look like 159? Yeah, it looks like 159. So 24, 159. Okay, and then from those ordered pairs, we want to write an equation. So remember, the process of writing an ordered pair is I first find the slope. Okay, so let's find the slope. Uh-oh, what's happening here? So first I find the slope. So remember, that's fraction bar, two minus signs, y's on top, so 138 and 159. And then x is on bottom, so that's 20 and 24. So go ahead and calculate this. My 138 minus 159 is negative 21 over 20 minus 24 is negative 4. If I do negative 21 divided by negative 4, I get the decimal 5.25. Okay. And I'm okay with a decimal in this circumstance. Okay, so 5.25. So that means in general, every centimeter that the foot increases, the person's going to be 5.25 centimeters taller. So after I have the slope, then I can go ahead with an ordered pair. So I'm going to pick my first ordered pair, 20, 138. So I'm going to pick this ordered pair here and this slope. So now I have y minus y1, which is 138, equals my slope of 5.25, parenthesis x minus my x value, which is 20. So now I have an endpoint slope, and remember every final answer needs to be in slope-intercept, so I distribute, so y minus 138 equals 5.25x, and then 5.25 times 20, or times negative 20, is negative 105. And then lastly, I add 138 to both sides. And y equals 5.25x plus, it looks like 33. Okay, so there's my equation. Y equals 5.25x plus 33. And then from there, say I wanted to, maybe I wanted to predict how tall somebody with 40 centimeter feet would be. Then I would just take my 40 and plug it right in there for x. So I would do 5.25 times 40 plus 33. So 5.25 times 40 is 210 plus 33 is 243. So I would say y is 243 centimeters tall. Okay, so if a person, so in general, obviously that doesn't work perfectly, it's just a relationship, but in general I could predict that somebody with 40 centimeter long feet would be 243 centimeters tall. Okay, so let's just look at 2 quickly. I'm not going to do all of 2, but you can see here on 2, I just want to point out something a little bit different here. So I would find this, the equation of the line in the same way. I want to look for trends. And you can see here, in general, this is temperatures were reported from various elevations on a mountain. So it looks like the higher the elevation, the lower the temperature. So this is actually and this is what I wanted to point out here, a negative correlation. Okay, so that's a negative correlation because in general, as the height of the mountain is increasing, the temperature is going down. So I went ahead and put my trend line on there. And again, I could find 2 points off the trend line and put them down here. I could do my slope. Once I found my slope, do my point slope. And then after my point slope, I solve down for my slope intercept. Okay. And that's ultimately our final answer. I'm not going to go through all of that, okay? So what I want you to do now is go ahead and pause the video, and I want you to work through 3 and 4 together in your groups. And then once you're done with 3 and 4 with a partner, you can do it individually if you want to. Once you're done with 3 and 4, you can go ahead and play the video for the answers. Okay, so I'm just going to go over this third one here because in general, guys, if your line was not exactly the same place mine was, it might be a little bit different, and that's okay. So I just wanted to go over one of the answers here. So you can see I've plotted my points. I put my line of best fit on here, or my my correlation line. So here it shows a positive correlation. I get it between all of my data. I pick out 2 ordered pairs. So again, if your ordered pairs are different than mine, that's okay. You just probably want something that's similar to what mine is. So you can see up here, after I have my 2 points, I calculate my slope first, and I get a slope of 1/2. So again, your slope may be a little bit different, that's okay, but it should be around 1/2 or 0.5. Then I pick one of my ordered pairs, so I just picked my first one, 20, 25, and put it in a point slope form, solve down to slope intercept. And again, yours might be a little bit different than mine, but that's okay. So in general, that's the process. And then, I could kind of use this to predict. So in general, that's kind of the process of scatter plots. I put all my points on there. I find a trend line or a line of best fit. That's what this blue line is called here. And then I pick 2 ordered pairs off of that blue line, and then I can go through the process of finding my equation like this so that I can now use this equation to predict. So you guys are actually going to do an activity that involves this kind of stuff, so you can go ahead and stop the video and then wait for everybody else to get done so you can start your activity.